if they were good questions, a lot of times we were told it had to do with national security. They couldn't tell us. So if it had to do with, it had to do with the Moussaoui trial, so they couldn't address the questions.
And to get the standard polito-speak from every one of these meetings was frustrating, and inevitably someone would start banging the table, someone would raise their voice.
And I truly lost my temper. I just said, what is this crap that you're talking about? And we brought up the put options.
Federal officials have begun a major investigation into whether someone, or many people, benefited financially from the evil done to the country last Tuesday. Not long before the attacks occurred, there were some financial transactions in the stock market that may indicate knowledge of the attack before it began.
The week prior to 9/11, there were puts on the airlines. And it wasn't just all the airlines, it was on American and United, which meant you were betting that those airlines' stock prices would go down.
The trades are called puts, and they involved at least 450,000 shares of American. But what raised the red flag is more than 80% of the orders were puts, far outnumbering call options, those betting the stock would rise. Sources say they've never seen that kind of imbalance before. After the terrorist attacks, American Airlines stock price obviously did fall. According to our sources, that translated into well over $5 million total profit for the person or persons who bet the stock would fall.
One example, United Airlines. The Thursday before the attack, more than 2,000 contracts betting that the stock would go down were purchased, 90 times more in one day than in 3 weeks. When the markets reopened, United stock dropped. The price of the contracts soared, and someone may have made a lot of money fast.
$180,000 turns into $2.4 million when that plane hits the World Trade Center.
Altogether, at least 7 countries are dissecting suspicious trades that may have netted more than $100 million in profits.
And there's much more, including an extraordinarily high number of bets against Morgan Stanley and Marsh & McLennan, 2 of the World Trade Center's biggest tenants.
Merrill Lynch was involved, and I said, Merrill Lynch's stock was 48 the day before 9/11, and I said the next day it was down to 41. This is kind of fishy. I said, suddenly, you have these 2 major airlines, and their stock go down, they go down tremendously, and somebody's making lots of money off of 9/11.
And the answer that we got was, we've investigated, and we find no unusual trading activity.
Could this be a coincidence? This would be one of the most extraordinary coincidences in the history of mankind if it was a coincidence.
It is absolutely unprecedented to see cases of insider trading covering the entire world, from Japan to the United States and North America to Europe.
So we said, well, you know what? What would make me feel better is tell the story.
Can you follow up on that? Can you tell us, can you be more specific? Can you pull up the trades? Can you, show us what really happened?
Who did those trades? Based on what research did they have that just those 2 airlines? And where is the money? And did it get dispersed?
Investigators now believe that in this climate, even the most secretive banks will hand over information to expose the most devious kind of insider trading. Sources say U.S. investigators are making headway in tracking down suspicious stock trades made just before the attacks.
We can directly work backwards from the trade on the floor of the Chicago Board's Option Exchange. That trader is linked to a brokerage firm. That brokerage firm received the order to buy that put option from either someone within their own brokerage firm speculating or from one of their customers.
Do we know who performed those trades? Yes. Can we have that information? No.
And he said, well, this is disinformation. I said, what are you talking about, disinformation? We know this happened. And then he dropped it and just drops it, just like that.
Well, you're asking me to go on faith that, that's the truth. Hard to go on faith when I feel that I've been failed and not told the truth.
They weren't really forthcoming and truthful with us.
And you'd leave there as frustrated as you left every other meeting. And, this was meeting after meeting, it didn't matter with who.